Hello everyone, this is Dr. Smita Jain, Professor, SIRT Excellence College, Bhopal. Today we will discuss effective oral presentation. The ability to speak effectively is an acquirement rather than a gift. Therefore, we need to acquire this skill to its best. An oral presentation is a live mode of sharing information with a selected audience. It is a form of oral communication in which a person shares factual information with a particular audience. Presentation means speaking before people on some formal occasion. In oral presentation, an individual is pitted against a group. Therefore, careful preparation is required for ensuring success in presentation. A good presentation is about how effective communication it is. Effective presentation reflects the personality of the speaker. When things are well explained and presented, the image of presenter is enhanced. Good presentation speaks about the speaker's confidence, level of knowledge, logical thinking, range of ideas, and application of ideas to practical situations. Presentation demands multiple communication skills. Oral presentation plays a vital role in modern business. Successful oral presentation can boost the career of an employee, while failure to present well can hinder the career growth. Need for oral presentation may arise for the following reason: presenting a new business plan, launching a new product or a service, making a sales proposal, starting a training course or a session, participating in a conference or a seminar, negotiating a business deals. Whatever may be the reason, if the need for oral presentation has arrived, you have to be effective enough to participate in this particular presentation. You need to do a planning for it. Basic elements of a presentation are: number one, presenter, the person who is presenting. The presenter should be fully aware of the elements of presentation and the strategy to use during presentation. A presentation is a particular mode of communication with a group of people and the art of conveying your message. Presentation involves prior preparation and planning. As a presenter, one should keep this in mind. Number two is audience. Audience here means the listeners. Prior to the presentation, the presenter should be aware of the type of audience he is going to face. He should get the idea of a number, nature, needs, level of knowledge, and likely attitude of those people who are going to be present during your presentation. These audience factors will determine the language delivery and selection of inputs. Understanding the audience need will help in focus the presentation on those issues which will create interest in the listener. And number three is the purpose. The purpose of the presentation should be pre-decided, and the content or the subject matter should also be prepared in advance. Proper chronological arrangements and the sequencing is must. The point should be arranged according to its importance and utility. The basic objective of the presentation should be very well defined and clear. The presentation, which is well planned and clear in its objective, will have long-lasting effect. Features of a good presentation. A good and effective oral presentation should contain certain features like right content, proper language, well prepared, brief and accurate, logical sequence, lively delivery, and yes, the touch of humor. Although presentation have become vital tools by which organization accesses the performance and expertise of their executives, besides other measures of performance assistance, it is not an unachievable task. There is no need to be mystified by the pressure that the whole exercise builds up on the speaker. The pre-presentation demands are to have a clear idea about the whole task and to remove the fear of making a presentation. It is something like a battle and should have a good strategy to win this battle. To one's presentation skills, it is absolutely imperative to secure the help of 6 great helpers. Number 1 is why. The speaker must be clear in his mind about the purpose of presentation. The purpose of presentation may be to inform the audience to some development or to persuade people to do something or to sell them something. It is necessary to understand the real reason for making the presentation and to know how the audience could benefit from it. Therefore, the presentation should be dependent on why, that is, the purpose of the presentation. Number 2 is whom. The best speaker is the one who understands his audience and shapes the message to suit the audience. Information about the number, age, sex, education, knowledge level, personality, and status of the listener are helpful in deciding the format, tone, and the manner of presentation. For example, a simple and visual presentation is likely to be more effective with semi-literate audience, whereas a lecture cum demonstration would suit a group of young executives. It is also helpful to keep in mind the likely reaction of the audience before making the presentation. Where? This implies the place where the presentation will take place. The place of presentation could be a workplace, a client's place, or a neutral place. The format and tone of presentation should be consistent with the place. The place should be large enough to accommodate the audience. It should have reliable electricity supply and necessary equipments. In case a computer is to be used in the presentation, it is advisable to carry one's own laptop. If the presentation is to be made at an unknown place, it is better to arrive early and become familiar with the place and the equipment so that everything goes smoothly during the presentation. Number 4 is when. The time of presentation is also important in shaping the presentation. If the presentation is in the morning or it is only presentation is being made at the audience instance, you may take up a little extra time. But when the presentation is to be made at the end of the day or it is one of the several presentations, it is better to be brief and lively. If it is to be delivered after lunch, presentation should be light and humorous. The presenter should be able to shrink or to expand his presentation as per the situation. Number 5, what? Subject matter, yes. This is about the subject matter of the presentation. The contents of the presentation can be decided by studying the profile of the audience. The message needs to be of interest to the listeners. It is also necessary to decide the visual aids required for the presentation. Number 6, and the last is how. How to fulfill the purpose of presentation. How to use the 5 W's so as to secure the undivided attention of the audience. This effect can be achieved by the tone and the delivery which is used while presentation. The organization of the main point is also important. On the same side, the need of the audience should also be kept on the mind. The use of visual aids, pictures, transparency, etc. are must for good presentation. Top tips for effective presentation. You need to go for certain shortcuts, or you can say the top of the tips, that is cherry of the presentation. For example, show your passion and connect with your audience. Focus on your audience needs. Relaxed and be yourself. Keep it simple. Concentrate on your core message. Smile and make eye contact with your audience. Start strongly. Tell stories in support of your theme. I hope this presentation might be helpful for you to make your oral presentation effective enough. Remain in touch and be prepared to get more videos from me. Thank you.